built was gone? What if you lost your money, your job, and the people closest to you? Will you collapse, or will you rise again? This is the story of Omar, the young man who lost everything but did not allow failure to be the end of him. Omar was an ambitious young man who started his life from scratch. He did not have wealth or influence, but he had something more important: determination. He worked hard for years, saved every penny, and finally managed to open his own project, a small online store that sold handmade products made by locals. His dream was to make his project a well-known brand. At first, success was slow, but he did not give up. He worked day and night, learned marketing, sent thousands of messages, and finally his business began to flourish. Demand was increasing, income was growing, and he felt that his dreams were beginning to come true. But suddenly, the unexpected happened. One day, Omar received a shocking message. His online store was hacked and all his money was stolen. He could not believe what had happened. Everything disappeared in an instant. He tried to contact the bank with electronic protection companies, but he could not recover anything. This was not the worst that had happened. Because of the crisis finance, he couldn't pay the suppliers. He lost their trust. His company went out of business. Then the creditors started asking him for their money, and he didn't have enough to pay them. In the midst of this storm, the shocks began to come one after the other. His friends who supported him turned away from him one by one. His family no longer believed that he would succeed anymore, and they started advising him to look for a normal job. He began to suffer from depression, lost faith in himself, and began to feel that everything was over. He reached a point where he thought, was all this effort meaningless? Did I make a mistake when I dreamt? Should I give up? One night, Omar sat alone in his dark room, thinking about his life, remembering how he started, how he struggled to get to where he was. He realized that he had two choices. One, either give up and accept defeat. Second, or start over, no matter how difficult the road was. And at that moment, he made his decision. He wouldn't give up. He started looking for solutions, learned from his mistakes, read about entrepreneurship, and learned how to protect his business from future risks. He didn't have money to start over, so he decided to work a small job during the day while working on his new project at night. The first few months were difficult. He would come home exhausted, but he didn't let fatigue defeat him. He would only sleep 3 to 4 hours a day, spending all his free time improving his new idea. This time he was more careful, smarter. After 2 years of effort, Omar came back stronger than before. He launched a new project. This time he learned how to protect his data, how to manage his money, how to choose his partners wisely. Success wasn't quick, but it was steady. Today, his project has become one of the most successful startups in its field, and he is invited to give lectures on entrepreneurship, telling his story to others, to tell them, failure is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. Only if you decide to get up again. Conclusion, a message to you. If you are going through a tough moment right now, remember that all successful people have gone through moments like this. But they didn't stop. Don't let failure be your last story. Stand up, learn, and start over, because true success comes to those who refuse to give up. Success is not for those who have never fallen, but for those who have fallen 100 times and have risen each time stronger than before.